Hi there, this is a recap of Adventure Time Season 2. Please subscribe and support my Patreon page, Animated Cartoons, starting as low as $1 a month. This video is sponsored by my merch store, my Patreon page, my PayPal donations, my gifting site Throne, and my partnership with W Energy Drinks. More about them later. Episode 1, It Came from the Nightosphere. Finn and Marceline are hanging out in her house in a cave. She asks Finn to help her lay some sick tracks. He remains non-judgmental as the nature of the song about her father stealing her french fries. And Finn asks why she doesn't just talk to her father. And she tells Finn that he's trapped in another dimension called the Nightosphere, and the only way to free him is to draw a happy face in the circle with a bug and douse it with bug milk and chant an incantation in Latin. Finn does this, freeing her father. Marceline stops her father from sucking out Finn's soul. He then goes on the soul-sucking party, and the dad tries sucking out Gunther's soul, but he's also claimed that he's the most evil soul he's ever encountered. As he's sucking souls, Finn notices that when Marceline would talk to him, he would stop sucking souls. While she sings her song, Finn attacks her dad and sends him back to the Nightosphere. Episode 2, The Eyes. Finn and Jake return tired from adventuring for 7 days a week, 1 week without sleep. Then they try to sleep, but some horse is just staring at them. They try to make things to get rid of it. Then it's revealed to have been the Ice King in disguise, who's been trying to find out why they're so joyful. And they all fall asleep in each other's arms. And he says, in the end, I'm still not happy. Episode 3, Loyalty to the King. Finn saves the princess from a sleeping Ice King. When he awakens to find her gone, he's convinced she broke up with him. He shaves off his beard and goes to the park. There, people mistake him for a hunky king named Nice King. Soon, Finn and Jake join him as his nice knights. But he's doing what he does. He even walks the princess up. Turtle Princess even notices, isn't this a cage? Soon, Ice King beard begins to grow again, and he needs to retrieve his beard trimmer. Unfortunately, he can't fly, so he sends Finn and Jake to get it, playing it like the Ice King stole it from him. Soon they discover Ice King's beard hair and realize that Nice King is actually the Ice King. And they return to the princess. The princess went with them, her Nice King, but they push past them and soon reveal the truth to the princesses, and he calls them all fat. And they beat on him. Episode 4, Blood Under the Skin. Finn and Jake walked in combat against a ladybug. Finn slams the door and gets injured on his thumb. He then sets out to get protection from Choose Goose. He gets a thimble, but his thumb and he shows his armor off to people with full armor, and they make fun of him, and they make fun of Finn. He then goes to Choose Goose again for armor, but he says he'll need equal trait like the head of his dog friend. Finn refuses, but after more mockery, he's given the map to magical armor of Zeldon. The first part of the poem proves too much for Finn, but Jake translated it. They must go through a swamp that was later revealed to be a swamp of embarrassment. Finn stumbles on naked people behind every curtain. Finn becomes embarrassed by each encounter, and his face turns red. Jake now translates the next poem, Silence the Echoing in the Woods. This turns out to be a strange red-faced creature. Finn doesn't know how to stop it from crying. Jake says, just make her think it's her idea. That's how you make the ladies do what you want. As Finn is about to talk to the creature, In its state, it believes Finn is her son and hugs him hugs him close. Soon the night that made fun of him comes with a lyre player who sings a song about Finn, the blushing baby. Shortly after the monster falls asleep, Finn escapes. Soon, Finn finds the armor, only to discover it's woman's armor. And Jake likes the way the armor, and the knight returns. This time, he gets off his horse and falls down, saying his armor is too heavy. Finn and Jake walk away, laughing. Episode 5, Storytelling. Jake isn't feeling well, and asks Finn to do stuff for him. He covered him with his blanket, and he says, "Too hot." And he makes him soup, and he barfs. Soon, story time. He tells Jake a story. Unfortunately, Jake wants to hear a new story, non-made up one. So Finn goes outside and sees a snail on a leaf. He decides to tell Jake. He then tells Finn what his story needs: romance, fighting, suspense, and a happy ending. So Finn explores the woods, running into various animals, including a fox who's in love with a goose, a teenage bear and his mama bear, and a forest wizard. They end up capturing Finn and plan on destroying him. Finn explains that he might die, but they need to live. They made their lives better, and what the change is just kick it apart. And he tells his story to Jake. Episode 6, Slow Love. Finn is reading the OO review, and Jake plays video games on BMO. A snail shows up and introduces himself as Snorlock. He explains that he needs a girlfriend, but he doesn't know how to talk to girls. So they train him. Eventually, they discover that the reason he's having trouble talking to snail girls is because he's actually a giant slug. He finds love in the end. Episode 7, Power Animal. Finn and Jake have a party on top of the treehouse, and Finn dances, saying he's got lots of energy. There's a large gnome. Asks Finn if his energy could power a huge machine. Finn says probably, and the gnome backs off laughing. He then returns, kidnapping Finn in his sleep. Next morning, Jake awakens and wonders where Finn is at. Where Finn is. In a dark room, we then see what the stranger comes out, revealing himself to be the Grand Master of the Gnomes, ruler of the Beneathiverse. He's been looking for a power source and has chosen Finn. Jake tries hard to find Finn, but keeps getting distracted. The Gnomes' master plan is to put the Beneathiverse on the top, and the rest of OO underground. Eventually, the machine is ready with Jake during a party in the Cloud Kingdom. The party god helps Jake focus on finding Finn. Infusing of 100 party gods, Jake finds Finn and smashes the machine, dancing around because of the party gods and smashing everything in his way. He frees Finn and they both exit. Episode 8, Crystals Have Power. Finn is examining a crystal with a kiss mark left on it at the treehouse front door. Jake challenges Finn to a tough guy challenge, and Finn believes that the crystal was left by tree trunks, but Jake believes that she's gone. She previously ate the crystal gem apple, then disappeared. In Season 1, Episode 4, Tree Trunks. Watch my recap of Season 1 for the story. They begin to have a tough guy challenge. First, they break something in half. Finn breaks a branch in half, but Jake breaks a whole couch. Finn pinches Jake, but he does not shed a tear. Then Jake pinches Finn's nipples, and he has one single tear. Then Jake loses control and goes crazy, crushing Finn. Then a flashback is shown with his brother Jermaine, and on the ground with boxing gloves on. And his dad walking in asking what happened. Jake replies that he was just playing around and lost control. And his dad said that it's okay to hurt anyone, but Jake disagrees with this. After the flashback, Jake vows to give up violence. The next day, Jake asks Finn if he hurt him too much yesterday, and Finn replied, "It did not even make me cry in my pillow for 30 minutes," with sadness in his tone. Then a portal opened up. A crystal guardian comes through asking for Finn. He says, Who is he?" And they grab. He says who he is, and they grab him and pull him through to the crystal dimension. There, they find tree trunks. The guardians are in love with her, but she's gone crazy in love with Finn. Finn tells Jake that he has to stop her, but Jake is still being non-violent. Then he has a vision of his dad and his brother, Dur. And Dur says he's not dead. He's having the same vision that Jake's having. The dad tells Jake that he didn't listen to his whole speech, that it's okay to hurt anyone, evil. Hearing this, Jake kicks Tree Trunks in the stomach, and the crystal apple fragment comes out. They all leave to the land of Ooo. Episode 9, The Other Tarts. The episode opens with a narration by PB describing the royal tart. According to her, they're said to be the most delicious tarts in the Candy Kingdom, and many would-be thieves would risk their lives for a single bite. This was originally done by the royal tart toter, but he's become old and crazy and can't do it anymore. And Cinnamon Buns volunteered for it, but she doesn't think that he's fully there to do it. He's half-baked. Finn and Jake take some tarts to the Badlands, and CB takes the royal tart path. But Finn and Jake get their tarts stolen, believing that they gave CB the bad tarts, not knowing that they gave CB the good tarts. Everything worked out in the end. The tarts that were stolen were also poisoned. That one bite paralyzed you, so the thieves got poisoned forever. Episode 9, To Cut a Woman's Hair. The episode opens with Finn chewing up apples in order to feed the chewed up food to the birds of Mrs. Waddler, a bird who has entered her beak. When Finn makes kissing motion and noises, Jake says, "I bet you wish that apple was PB," and that Finn wants to kiss her. Jake makes light of Finn's lack of talent with the ladies, but Finn doesn't respond. The bird thanks Finn, calling them heroes. Then a tree witch appears from behind a bush. Then she sits on Jake and won't let him go unless Finn gets her princess hair. So Finn travels all over Ooo. He finally gets hair from PB, but the witch doesn't like it because it's bubblegum, not hair. Then he gives her his own hair, freeing Jake. Finn has long, beautiful hair. Episode 10, Chamber of Frozen Blades. Finn has been spying on the Ice King for 6 hours, according to Flambeau. Sources say that he's going to steal a princess. Jake's reading a book, How to Be a Ninja. When Finn gets restless, Jake tells him that a true ninja can sense the intentions of his enemies. But Flambeau laughs at Jake, saying there's no such thing as ninjas. Finn says that him and Jake are real ninjas. The two then sneak into the Ice King's castle, believing that he kidnapped a princess. They go through his stuff, finding ninja ice magic, and practice the magic, but have a duel while this is going on. Ice King took Gunther to Dr. Princess. Ice King returns home with the princess now captured, and he finds Finn and Jake have destroyed his home. They free the princess, and she's not even a real princess. She was destructed by the penguin because she's pregnant and laid an egg. Episode 12, Her Parents. Finn and Jake are eating breakfast when he calls Jake on the phone. She is worried about Jake meeting her parents, and Jake sends a message to her parents to come to the treehouse early through a prism, and they agree, with Lady upset about having Jake meet her parents, it might be because of the dog Renicorn Wars. He says there were terrible wars between Renicorns and dogs for territory in the Crystal Dimension. Finn points out that Wady's parents are probably full of dog hatred from the war times. So Finn disguises Jake as a Renicorn. When they do show up, they're Bob and Ethel at first think that Finn is a goblin butler, but Jake tells them that he's a human. They play Renicorn games, and Finn helps Jake fake it. Then Jake tells Finn to prepare lunch. He agrees. Jake tells Wady's parents Finn's a little raw, but he has great taste. He means cooking. Finn returns with the food, but her parents try to eat him instead. This causes Jake to become angry and reveals himself to be a dog, and they're excited. Wady shows up and she explains it turns out that during the war, Wady's dad was actually saved by a dog, and her parents are just crazy about dogs. The two apologize for trying to eat him, and they eat soy people. And according to the Renicorns, soy people taste just like humans. Remember that, because I'll bring it up in a future video, probably. Episode 13, The Pods. The episode opens with Finn and Jake walking while Jake eats ice cream. I'm talking about how he's excited for the ice cream marathon being held the next day. Suddenly, they hear a mysterious croaking noise. They stumble on a frog with a gnome knight costume. There's a lot here to do. It's revealed to them he's a gnome knight, magically turned into a frog. He's dying and needs a brave soul to take over guarding a chest with 3 magic beans. He explains that 2 are good and 1 is pure evil. Eventually, Finn plants all 3 beans. The first one, baby pigs come out. The second one, a magic wand comes, and a third is ice cream. It's revealed to them that the adorable little pigs are pure evil. The pigs escape with the magic wands and terrified the mushroom people. Not to be confused with the toads. The mushroom people, Jake saves the day by squeezing out ice cream onto the pigs, exploiting them into confetti. And then Jake eats all the ice cream, covering the town in. Finn says he really loves his ice cream. Now we're halfway finished. Now a word from our sponsors. My merch store. I offer shirts, mugs, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Support my Patreon page, Anime Tire Tunes, starting as low as $1 a month. Get my weekly work schedule posted every Friday and an anime video sneak peek at upcoming anime videos for $40 a month. Get Patreon exclusive merch delivered to your home, 1 item every 3 months. 4 items altogether. Send me payment through PayPal donations. Send as much or as little as you'd like. Send me fan gifts with the website Throne. If an item you think I'll enjoy isn't on there, send a request. I might add it. Now for my partnership with W Energy Drinks. Get their energy drinks and powerful mixes available in various flavors, and get 10% off your order using my code. I get commission sales whenever you buy using my code. Now back to the video. Episode 14, The Silent King. Finn and Jake defeat X, the goblin tyrant. And he becomes king. With their newfound power, Finn doesn't like it much, having everything done for you. X returns, this time with an army. Finn disguises Whisper Dan as himself and goes with Jake into battle and wins. With Whisper Dan, the new Goblin King, Finn and Jake return home. Episode 15, The Real You. Finn and Jake are headed to the Candy Kingdom Castle where PB is holding her science barbecue. They're carrying a giant gift made for her, a scale model of the Candy Kingdom made from spit bubbles. Jake makes fun that he wants to swap spit with PB, which embarrasses him. Outside the castle, PB is setting up a stage and lighting the grill. with Flambeau. Finn presents her with the gift, but when she closes her eyes, she sneezes and ruins it. Peppermint Butterworth and Chet get into an argument over who will be Grill Meister and end up accidentally knocking it down. Finn saves the day by tossing meat on the fire. PB gives Finn a lecture job on being a hero. To sound smart, he gets glasses from Choose Goofs. And at the barbecue, Finn reveals a bubble creator of his own. First, he creates a 2-dimensional bubble. It casts a 3-dimensional shadow. Then a 3-dimensional bubble. It casts a 2-dimensional shadow. Then he created a 4th-dimensional bubble. It created a 3-dimensional bubble, or a black hole. PB asks Finn, "Are you trying to kill us?" And he says, "I'm trying to give you the best conference ever." PB says, "You've gone insane." And Finn says, "Nah, I'm like the smartest person in new." Thanks to these glasses, PB takes off the glasses and Finn returns to normal. He then has Jake let him go as his sword cuts into the bubble machine, and he's able to cut the black hole with his sword. And PB sees his nose. Apparently, super smart Finn knew this was going to happen, down to every last detail, except PB didn't fall in love with him. She does kiss him on the cheek. Episode 16, Guardians of the Sunshine. Finn is playing the game Guardians of the Sunshine. He makes his way all the way to the boss fight, Sleepy Sam. Finn tries to use the combo on him. Unfortunately, he doesn't do it fast enough. He gets swallowed by the enemy, and game over. Finn believes that if he was actually inside the game, he'd be able to beat the boss easily. BMO tells Finn that it's dangerous in there. If you were to push a panel on my control pad, you'd be sent into. Oh no! I mean, if I were to push the button on my control pad, you'll be sent into the game. Which he tries clicking on it, but he said that I would have to click on it. While Beamo was in sleep mode, Finn and Jake both pressed the button, and inside inside they find it harder than they thought. It's easier playing than being on the inside. They eventually make their way to the first boss, Honey Bunny, but they can't get him because Finn requires the bomb. The bomb can only be used on the control pad. So Jake removes it, and by doing so, opens a hole and sucked them up. And it sucked them, also freed the monsters from the game. Once outside, the monsters are free in the sunlight. They're no longer evil. All that's left is destroying BMO for impersonating them for all in the game. And Finn and Jake have to save BMO. So they do the combo and save BMO. Episode 17, Death in Bloom. PB puts Finn and Jake in charge of caring of her plant. Unfortunately, they end up killing it, and they get Peppermint to get them to see Death. Before going, he says, for them to tell Death, he says hello, and don't drink by the port closes before he can finish saying water. At the entrance, there's a gatekeeper who won't allow them to enter because they're not dead, but they sneak in anyway. Unfortunately, there's dead guards all around. They slip by, and then they find a stream, and Jake drinks from it. It loses his memories. To get Jake's memories back, they has to get Death. They has to get to Death. Okay, sorry. But once they reach his castle, he won't do anything for you. Free. You must win a musical duel. Unfortunately, Finn loses, but before dying, Finn says that Peppermint Butler says hi, and he gives them the plant's life return and Jake's memories back by giving him a kiss of death. They return, and PB eats the plant, and all that hard work they both did was just a waste. And Peppermint says, for his reward for helping them, he wants their skins, and that while they sleep, he'll steal them. Episode 18, Susan Strong. Finn and Jake are told to do a favor for PB to rip out taffy tree stumps. Inadvertently brings up to Finn that he's the only human. Very soon they find a hatch among the tree stumps, and they explore it to find a tribe of human who wear animal-themed hats like Finn's and are scared of shadows. Finn explains that they won't hurt them. Finn gets Susan to go on the outside, and they explore the Candy Kingdom. And in return, she plans on raiding the Candy Kingdom with the rest of the tribe and eating everything except Peppermint Butler. PB and Finn and Jake and the rest of the Candy Kingdom prepare for war. They successfully thwart their attempts, and Finn discovers that they're not human, but some kind of fish people. Finn confronts Susan on if she's just like them, a fish person too. She just runs away from. Finn wonders out loud if she's human or just a wild animal. Jake says, "We're all wild animals, brother." Finn eats some marshmallow skin and says, "Yeah, I guess we are, brother." Episode 19, Mystery Train. Finn is blindfolded by Jake for a surprise. They must take a train, and Jake removes Finn's blindfold before getting on. Finn meets the conductor, who seems odd to him. On the train, Mr. Candy Cane stumbles and hits Colonel Candy Corn. And he becomes angry, but Mr. Candy Corn apologizes, and Candy Corn requests that it not happen again. At this point, Jake goes to get a train schedule. As he leaves, the conductor lets them know that the ride's about to get a little bumpy. Candy Corn gets hit by Mr. Cane multiple times. Finally, when they hit straight track, a furious Candy Cane threatens to kill him. They enter a tunnel, and when they exit, they see a skeleton of Mr. Candy Cane. Finn tries discovering who the killer is, and each time he thinks he's close, that person is killed, until all that's left is the train conductor. Finn hugs Jake. Then the lights go out, and he's hugging a Jake skeleton. Then the creepy conductor comes out with a sword, ready to kill Finn. In the end, it's revealed to have been Jake all the time, and that was Finn's B-Day surprise. A murder mystery. The train crashes, luckily landed on a gelatin. And also it wasn't planned. Apparently that was not planned. And they almost died. Episode 20. Go With Me. Finn and Jake are watching the stars, and Jake says it's couples only movie night. Who are you taking? He gets Marce and Jake's advice on how to ask PB to go to the movies. Jake's advice makes Finn embarrassed, and Marce's advice makes PB think he's nuts. Marce gives Finn a kiss on the cheek, and eventually Finn decides to ask Marce to the movies. Finn also explains that he's not looking for a girlfriend. They go out as friends, and are bored. They then ride with a pack of wolves. Episode 21, Belly of the Beast. Finn and Jake are awakened by a monster spewing fireworks out of its mouth and shaking their treehouse. It turns out bears have taken over the belly of the beast. They eventually convince the leader that they're inside the belly of a beast. He then says that makes sense, since this is the weirdest cave he's ever seen. Finn and Jake still can't get him and his people to leave, so he then accidentally gives the monster advice. So now he's about to drink lava to destroy the bears. They rally the bears and escape out of the bum. Finn and Jake are seen healing the injured bears, and the bears return to the belly of the beast in exchange for no longer using fireworks but laser pointers instead. Episode 22, The Limit. Finn and Jake are at Hot Dog Princess's home looking up at the stars, wishing they had an ancient psychic tandem war elephant. A firework shoots out into the sky, and Jake mistakes it for a shooting star. The firework then spells out B-U-T-T in the sky, and Hot Dog Princess knows something is terribly wrong with her hot dog knights, who were sent to rescue the other hot dog knights in the labyrinth. Finn and Jake go to rescue them. They find them and learn of a wish-granting creature. All the hot dogs hop on Jake, and he stretches through the labyrinth until he can't stretch anymore. But they made it there. Each night wasn't there. Each night wastes their wish, and Jake wishes for food because he's so hungry. Finn wishes for the second war tender elephant, and he has the elephant wish that everyone was back and everyone was safe. Then they escape the labyrinth. Episode 23, Video Makers. Finn and Jake are having movie club and find out that they're watching these movies unauthorized, but these movies are from before the Great Mushroom War. So Finn decides that they'll make their own movie, but it's a train wreck. Neither of them can come up with an idea for the movie that fits romance or action. They end up fighting the day the movie was to be shared. BMO instead shows them fighting and singing a song to get better, that they get better, becoming friends again. Episode 24, Heat Signature. Finn and Jake are visiting Mars to show her friends heat signature. When they enter her house, she introduces them to her ghost friends, Wendy, Boo Boo, and Gregory. Finn and Jake try to sit on Marcy's couch, but it's uncomfortable. Marcy says that she never uses the couch, she always floats. Finn and Jake want to be turned into vampires. Marcy agrees to turn them into vampires. She says that she'll do the biting ritual. She pinches both their necks and dabs ketchup on them to look like bite marks. Afterwards, Finn and Jake are asked how they feel. Finn says he feels the same, and Jake says his neck hurts. Marcy and his ghost friends continue pranking them by making them think that they can suck the color red from things and turn invisible. But her friends are more concerned with harming Finn and Jake than even kicking them and even having them fall to their deaths, saying that they can fly. They invite them to a party. Marcy warns them from going, but they go anyway, and the ghosts try to suck out their organs through their heads. But Marcy saves them, and in the end, they all watch together Heat Signature. Episode 25, Mortal Folly. In part 1, Finn and Jake and PB are meditating on the balcony of the castle. At first, the boys are having trouble concentrating, but the princess tells them to clear their minds, and it works. Finn sees himself older and cooler with a mechanical arm. Jake sees a lady riding a horse. PB has a vision of the Witch King and panics and says she needs a check on something. Finn and Jake decide to go with her. She gives them gems that like the one in her tiara before entering a secret room in the heart of the tallest tree. She shows Finn and Jake the ancient sorcerer called the Lich in a prison of amber. He was put there by the legendary hero Billy, who hasn't been seen or mentioned since season 1 episode. His hero. Season 1 episode 25. Same number as this episode from another season. Now, if you watch this on HBO Max, Moral Folly is episode 24 because the episode Heat Signature is episode 26, but I found it listed as 24 elsewhere, so I'm having it that way. Now, back to the recap. However, the waving snail comes out of Finn's backpack and makes a crack in the amber, freeing the Lich. Finn and Jake try to stop him, but he flies out to the sky. The PV takes them to another secret door, and this time she gives them Billy's gauntlet. He used to defeat the Witch King the first time. They must stop the witch before he gets to his wall of power and gets his magic back. PB tells Finn and the Witch King where it's cold, and so she gives him a sweater that she made, telling him she cares for him. As one last parting, the trio hug each other for good luck. On the way there, Finn and Jake run into Ice King, who wants their blessing to marry PB. They ignore him, and he ends up kidnapping PB. Finn and Jake make their way to the Lich King's lair, and Finn loses his backpack. It's destroyed. And Ice King and PB just behind them are the Witch King tries to take over Finn's mind by saying, "Aren't you cold, Finn? Why not walk into the well?" He replies, "I'm not cold. I have a sweater on." He then smashes the witch to pieces, and Ice King accidentally drops PB into the well. Episode 26, Mortal Recoil. In part one, PB was accidentally dropped by the Ice King and into the witch's well. The episode opens with PB being rushed by Dr. Ice Cream and Nurse Pound Cake and other Candy Possible staff. They stabilize her. Unfortunately, she doesn't seem to be acting normal and is paler than normal. The Ice King tries saying that he saw something when he accidentally dropped PB, but Finn is angry at Ice King for almost killing PB. And the other princesses give Finn a new backpack, and Finn and Jake watch over PB. Later, she asks for strange stuff, cleaning supplies. When Peppermint Butler returned with tea, he freaks out and hisses and runs out of the room. Later, the Ice King reveals to Finn and Jake that the witch has possessed her body. He saw it through his wizard eyes, but with stinky old wizard eyes. Sometimes you see things. Sometimes it's crazy in your face all the time. With this, the princess now possessed has become a monster. Ice King freezes her, and she shatters. The witch defeated. Dr. Princess revealed that there wasn't enough candy to work with, so PB is now younger. She's now 13 years old. Ice King loses interest in PB, and at the end of the episode, we see the waving snail who freed the witch. He's got green eyes. Subscribe for more movie recaps, TV show recaps, and more awesome videos. Please consider supporting the channel on my Patreon page and my cartoons, starting as low as $1 a month. Every little bit helps. This channel helps the channel. This video took me weeks of watching episodes of Adventure Time 2, so hopefully you enjoyed it. I started watching Season 2 on November 18th, just to see how long it's been, so on December 6th, I'll start watching Season 3, and I won't be done for a while, so stay tuned as watching this video. I've only watched a total of 4 episodes of Adventure Time Season 3. I watch 10 episodes a week. Except for when it's holidays, say like Christmas, I won't watch episodes on that day, and New Year's Eve, and Thanksgiving. Those are the only days I don't really watch anything. So anyway, bye for now. See y'all next video. Bye.